Greetings and salutations, everyone. We are back with Deathbattle reaction, plus Deathbattle prediction, which will precede this when I find out what the next one is. Cole Macgrath versus Alex Mercer. Infamous versus Prototype. One of the biggest debates, like, within video game fandom versus around. Now, real quick, I did mention I did not. I watched Discord versus Bill Cipher, but I didn't do my reaction. I was having like one of the worst migraines I have ever had in my life that day. I literally went to my work, got into work. I'm like, oh, this is weird. And I'm like, I've got a little bit of a headache for him, but not serious. And I realized, oh, I got that pixelated thing in my left eye going on. I'm like, oh, this isn't good. And sure enough, right before we actually opened, I'm like, oh no. Okay, let me try to get through like doing this one load of freight to get out. And I'm like, 5 minutes into it, I'm like, nope, I gotta leave. So I did watch the death battle, but I did not do a reaction to it. And I mean, it's only fair. Let me just preface it by giving, like, I don't know, let me see what the times. A 1-2 minute, like, just what I thought about that death battle episode. As someone who's not a My Little Pony or even a Gravity Falls fan, don't hate them, just not my fandoms generally. Although I probably wouldn't dig on Gravity Falls. That was one of the best fights they had done, not just this season, but in general. That was so chaotic and wacky and everything you wanted it to be. The fact that these weird, messy camera angles were very fitting for reality warpers. You go through the different dimensions. Discord is just a fun character. Bill is portrayed awesome. It's like undisputed master of chaos. Like, that music is going. I love the setup, and that setup leads to the finale, which I wish and hope Deathbattle does more of these types of endings, where in essence both characters kind of win. Yes, the one who statistically wins the fight, the one who actually wins, but that the loser wins on some level as well, because I love the fact that Discord technically still beat Bill. It's like, haha, I win, but it's like, you mother, no. Like, that was perfect. I loved that. So I really did like it. My prediction going into this, it goes to Alex. I've been front about that for a while now, and hey, I got last week right, by the way. I double checked my Death Battle prediction from when I predicted it at the beginning of the end of last season, or at the beginning of the end, at the end of last season when they did the 2-1s. But yeah, I'm thinking it's going to go to a lot of people seem to believe more towards Cole. But I know Alex is just so durable and like hard to hurt. Plus, he's able to absorb biomass, which means close quarters. I wonder if that's gonna come up as like none of this like if whoever wins or loses, they'll say to talk about Cole. Well, none of that will matter if Cole was unable to dodge Alex and avoid being touched by Alex, because all he has to do is touch Cole, and by all accounts, he should absorb his biomass and theoretically his abilities along with that. I believe. I haven't watched it yet, but anyway, I've been delaying long enough. Let's get this widescreened, and let's do this.
Cole Macgrath, the patron saint of Infamous.
I never actually played either of these games, by the way. I played a little bit of like the demo for
champions.
Infamous.
You voted for it, so we're finally doing it. Long after these characters were ever relevant. Oh, hey, look what I found in the trash. An old script we wrote for this very matchup way back in 2013.
Wait, we haven't emptied our trash in 10 years?
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Okay, so this is going to be in 3D. That's good to see.
With great power comes great responsibility. Tobey Maguire's not the only superhero who's had to learn that lesson.
Oof.
Cole Macgrath was just your average delivery boy in Empire City until one day he opened a package that exploded in his face.
This was the Ray Sphere, a device that, upon erupting, destroyed much of the city and tore through Cole at the atomic level,
killing him instantly. Nah, actually, he scooped up some superpowers. Cool, zippity-zappity superpowers.
More specifically, Cole became a
this match, they're focusing on the
one of many
good
beings who were
that's very important.
Supernatural abilities from the Ray Sphere explosion.
Which also turned Empire City into a
Cole.
godforsaken hellscape. This world needed a hero, or at least an anti-hero willing to clean up the mess he sort of technically made.
Cole put his powers to the test, battling rogue superpowered conduits, including the mastermind behind the blast, Kessler.
Let's be real,
I guess
none of Cole's powers are as sick nasty as his parkour skills, but
That's
his
true.
ability to manipulate electricity is pretty sweet too.
Cole controls electromagnetic energy. Not only can he generate a
Basically,
smorgasbord
kind
of
of-
powerful lightning attacks, he can also manipulate thermal, kinetic,
kind
and
of a static
gravitational
shock
energies. Electromagnetism is pretty
He's
broad.
more actually
after all.
closer
This
to
includes his radar
static
pulse,
Magneto.
which detects the bioelectricity inside organisms even if they're hidden or transformed.
And for good measure, he got to add some ice powers to
Yep.
his kit. He can throw ice
Cool.
grenades, shoot ice spikes,
Yep.
and let out some epic ice farts.
He can levitate like Electric Iron Man, grind on rails like Shadow the Hedgehog, read your mind like Goku's muffin button, charge up with extra karmic
muffin
energy,
button.
also like Shadow the Hedgehog, and generate force fields like...
Shadow the Hedgehog.
But these aren't just force
Yeah.
fields. They literally convert any matter they touch into energy that Cole absorbs. That's
Interesting.
insane.
How's that?
Are you familiar with a little equation called E equals mc squared?
No.
Oh, well, it defines the mathematical relationship between matter and energy. Essentially, how much energy any given mass contains.
Okay, the largest mass object Cole absorbs is a 343-gram helicopter chain gun round.
Perfectly converting matter to energy is technically impossible, but hey, this is a video game.
Yeah.
The mass contained in that bullet, when multiplied by the speed of light squared, would release an energy equivalent to over 7 megatons of TNT.
All right.
This means Cole's energy output is basically fueled by a nuclear reactor.
Oh,
Alright.
so he's like a living super bomb, always
Okay,
ready
so
to go
this is
up.
where-
Sounds like my first ex-wife.
This
Should
is
he
where,
somehow
like,
run low
this
on
is where I
energy,
think a
he
lot of
can
people are
drain
kind
it
of
from nearby
like,
appliances to recharge.
power-wise, he
He's
might be
even
able to
learned to
take down
drain
Alex.
the
Alex provided
bioelectricity from
nuclear
people,
blast.
like this. Yikes.
Cole can focus his electricity through his amp, a giant tuning fork which lets him ring around the Rosia to death. Or he can just make lightsabers out of his hands. That's cool too. And because he follows Pokemon rules, Cole's extra resistant to electric attacks.
With these powers, Cole chewed through Kessler's forces, including Sasha, whose black tar powers could infect and control minds.
And he eventually faced down that son of a bitch himself and pwned his ass, despite Kessler having his exact same powers. Coincidence?
Turns out the architect of Cole's misery was himself from
It
an
was
alternate
me,
future
Cole,
timeline,
all along.
manipulating
The
events
author
from
of
the
your pain.
shadows to ensure this version of Cole became a better hero than Kessler ever was.
Yeah, you see, Cole's superpowers are molded through his actions, increasing in power and utility based on how good or evil he acts. Naturally, as a good person, Cole shaped his powers to be more focused to target the bad guys.
Yep.
Pussy shit! Evil Cole is way more awesome sus! He blows everything up! Collateral damage? Who cares? He can control fire! Well, that just happened.
Indeed.
Who wrote this shit?
The point is, Kessler's whole plan was meant to prevent the apocalypse, which would appear in the form of the Beast, a conduit of unimaginable power.
Cole is strong
Okay.
enough to create massive thunderstorms, fast enough to route electricity moving at 90% the speed of light,
Wow.
and maybe thanks to Kessler, tough enough to take on the Beast.
Which possessed the power of the Ray Sphere itself. It could regenerate at an
Okay.
atomic level and eradicate all of Empire City in a single attack. Fortunately, after a grueling battle, Cole defeated the Beast once and for all.
Though ultimately, it wasn't Cole's power that made him a hero.
In order to stop a
was his
plague created by the Ray Sphere, Cole sacrificed his life, eradicating the conduit genes and saving all of humanity.
Sure, he also killed thousands of conduits in the process, but hey, what's a few corpses when building a better tomorrow? This
I mean,
truly
there's
stops
the
for
need
no
to-
one.
Cole was remembered as a saint by
For
the
the
people of
one.
New Marais, as a hero by the friends he left behind, and an inspiration to future generations. A true testament to the responsibility
All
of
right.
power.
So I'm wondering if we're gonna get the. Oh, it's okay. So HelloFresh coming up here. Okay, so
Monsters.
one second. Okay, so I mean that's a lot. Now they'll obviously give us some stats a bit for Alex in a little bit, but yeah, the level of power up what they have does show that he could match some of the stuff that Alex took, but I'm still right now leaning towards Team Alex. I'll give my I'll give my last prediction at the end of the video. So let's
Alex had no memories. He was a man without a past, and
Alex
maybe
Mercer.
no future. But he
Distant
did have
predatory,
one
super
thing.
The
intelligent,
black
terrifying
light virus
vengeful.
can rewrite your
This is the
cells
killer,
all the way down
the
to
monster,
your DNA,
terrorist, because
and
he's just so
somehow it granted Alex incredible superhuman abilities.
Oh, yeah.
He can infect anyone he touches with this virus,
Yep.
altering their biology at the molecular level in seconds,
That-
and giving him complete control over their actions.
So Alex pushed on, desperate
think
to
that
avenge
means that,
himself and the
from what they
city by
said,
finding whatever
Cole should
monster
be into
unleashed
that.
this nightmare and eat them. Yeah, he can
Yep.
consume people to give himself a power boost. He's like Kirby, if Kirby listened to Linkin Park.
This extra biomass gives him superhuman strength, a greater metabolic rate, increased reaction times, and even a regenerative healing factor.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially, Alex is an ever-evolving super being, the ultimate being.
Yep.
Oh, like Shadow the Hedgehog.
By consuming victims, Alex also receives all their memories and experiences, including Peter Randall, a 69-year-old man whose entire history Alex processed in just 11 seconds. Being able to condense that much information into that time frame means Alex can perceive events happening within 5 nanoseconds.
Which is about how long I was married to my second ex-wife.
Alex can shapeshift his body at will, creating disguises, increasing his muscle mass, and forming nearly unbreakable armor. And when he wants to kill someone, he can
Breathes
become
fire,
his
electricity,
own weapon,
radiation.
turning his limbs into claws and blades, or
All
generating countless tendrils that give him unmatched control.
In terms
over
of like
his
just
environment.
concept,
With
I
these
like
goofy
Prototype
powers,
better.
he came up with a bunch of Street Fighter moves, like the air dash, the cannonball, the bullet dive
Prototype
drop,
mask
and
and
the
go
hunter
Karate
dirt
Singer.
nap. Pretty sure that was my third ex-wife's boyfriend's stripper name.
And after consuming enough people, Alex reaches critical mass and can unleash his evil slop in powerful ultimate attacks.
Like the Tendril Barrage Devastator.
Ooh.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Despite being seen as the world's most wanted terrorist, fair, Alex used his powers to stop the spread of the virus and end the city's nuclear devastation.
It was then he learned the truth. He wasn't Alex Mercer at all.
He was the blacklight virus itself, which absorbed the memories and likeness of the real Alex Mercer, who was not only dead, but actually responsible for all of this in the first place. To decipher this, I recreated the blacklight virus myself, the most dangerous...
Why is it empty?
He's right behind me, isn't he?
So the man Alex was hunting the whole time was himself. Dun dun dun.
That's right, Boomstick. Turns out Dr. Alex Mercer helped create the blacklight virus, and when things didn't work out and he was about to die, he recklessly unleashed it upon the city.
What a petty SOB.
Wow,
What he didn't know was that the virus would merge with his sentience and memories and become
there
a
you
new
go.
Alex. How? Why? Don't
knows?
question it, it's a nothing burger.
But is this massive viral material that calls itself Alex actually human in any meaningful way?
The poor bastard sure tried to be. Too bad humans can be dicks, and everyone
Yeah.
kept betraying him. Even the so-called love of his life, who shot him in the face. Whoa! So, Alex figured, obviously, humanity had to go.
Not just
Yeah.
go, but be made better. Whatever goodness remaining with this Alex was left behind as he
Joy.
plotted to unleash a second blacklight virus, recreating humanity into a super species in his own image. Great power became great terror.
Classic
Yeah.
anime RPG villain stuff. And he was strong enough to do it. Alex can casually tear buildings apart, dodge supersonic tank shells, and even defeated the Supreme Hunter, who was tough enough to survive a nuclear blast that would have leveled Manhattan.
Based on the blast radius given in-game, that's 450 kilotons
Which
of
I
TNT.
believe is
Speaking of
more
nukes,
than
Alex
the
survived
Megaton.
one. His healing factor is off the chain. And after being blasted into paste, all he needed was the tiniest bit of himself to come back good as new.
His healing occurs at the cellular level, making him virtually impossible to kill so long as he keeps consuming.
But attempting to take over the world and kill millions of people
It
pissed
possessed
off a
absorbed memories
certain
at
James
60%,
Heller, a dude who had
66%
just
speed of
had
light.
enough of his fucking weird, fucking rambling shit.
Who used the same virus powers to consume Alex once and for all.
Live by the Kirby symbiote, die by the Kirby symbiote.
Oh, that's right, that was the new
Was
prototype.
Alex just a virus after all? I mean, what's more human than the urge to conquer the world, drive its species to the slaughter,
man, this is
consume
gonna be
its raw
tough.
genetic resources, and crown
Because I
yourself
can't remember if
king?
a
Maybe
Megaton
the day
is
Alex
more
Mercer
than a
died
kiloton.
was the day he truly became
I
human.
think a
Wow, that
kiloton is more than a
intense.
Megaton.
Fuck yeah, it was.
All right then. So yeah, it's bugging me that I can't remember whether or not what is more, a megaton or a kiloton. I want to say a kiloton is more than a megaton, which would mean that that Alex has more than the durability to take anything Cole throws at him, hypothetically. Now the thinking speed thing, that's interesting. We know that they did do the light speed, the 90% light speed feat for Cole, which does outpace his 60% light speed memory learning feat. But I don't know if that's going to matter that much. I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm going to say Alex Mercer. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Let's see what they got here.
Once and for all.
It's time for a death battle!
All right, let's do this. It's all right. Looks kind of like the game. Oh, that's cool. I like that. There's Alex.
I think I've still got room for dessert.
The models are a little iffy.
Whoa.
There's the soundtrack. All he's gotta do is get a bite of that dude and he's dead. It's pretty fun. And the choreography's good. Ice. Oh no, ice! My one weakness! Oh, ooh. Nice. I guess he's eating people. Ow. Oh, come on! Really? In the middle of the... Right in the middle. It'd be one thing if you did that right before the the fight. In the middle of the fight?
You don't know the half of it.
Oh, you're a monster. Yeah. Oh yeah, now hold on the fence. Go ahead and take it easy, don't mind. I love it. Most of the lightning effects that looks cool. I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't look that great on me. Lightning effects mostly look good, but sometimes look
much power, and yet you waste it on these vermin. You and I can change this world for the better. The only vermin
Why are you
I
not
see
eating
here
it?
is you.
They're both facing off. Now there's his armor, which he should be able to withstand theoretically. Okay, that's ridiculous. Yep, nope, sorry.
You don't want to give me your power. Fine, I'll just take it.
Oh.
Good idea. This world sure isn't perfect, but it's a lot better without you in it, asshole.
Well, I guess I take the L on that one.
Oh, now I know where that script was in the trash. I had to hear someone say awesome sauce.
Both opponents were incredibly versatile and deadly.
I'm interested to see how they
both
fight
could
this
match
one,
each other's
right?
powers blow for blow.
They could each create weapons, amplify their strength, and fight at range.
But could Cole survive Alex's infection? Well, Alex would usually need to weaken an opponent to get that trick to work. Even then, the Ray Sphere incident that created Cole's powers in the first place ripped apart everyone else down to the atomic level, and the Beast's attacks were capable of the same thing. Considering the blacklight virus
Oh,
only works
atomic
down
versus
to molecular DNA, it's reasonable to say Cole would be able to resist it.
Sure, Alex could have potentially consumed Cole's biomass to give himself an edge, but Cole could just do the same thing to Alex, absorbing his bioelectricity to power himself back up.
But
it's
nothing
not
could
the
challenge
same
the
thing.
gap in power. Everything Alex survived could simply not match Cole's force fields, and especially not the power of the Beast. The blast the Beast created actually had a much wider radius than the one the Supreme Hunter could survive. To compete with these foes, this
So it
means
is
Cole was
Megatron
simply
overkill
far
then.
more powerful than Alex.
Speaking of the Beast, Cole's ability to disintegrate it at the atomic level meant that even Alex's crazy molecular regeneration couldn't stand up to Cole's might.
Just like how Cole could overpower Kessler despite his resistance to electricity, or how he resisted Sasha's mind control powers, which were eerily similar to the blacklight virus.
But I bet you're wondering, what if Alex fought evil Cole instead? Well, it'd be even worse, because that Cole took the Beast's power for himself. That's good night for Angry Virus Boy.
Alex was a versatile, deadly opponent.
See,
but
here's
Cole's
the thing,
counters,
though. They say
speed,
he
and
absorbs
raw power
electrical
gave him
biomass.
the
That's
edge.
fine, but
Alex, got
theoretically,
the Cole
everything
shoulder,
that's
just
not
like
but,
this stupid
that's the one thing I'm
script.
arguing.
The winner
Everything else
is
makes
Cole
sense for
Macgrath.
for why Cole won here, but the biomass thing, they even explained Alex Mercer could absorb your experiences, everything like that, and theoretically, your biology, which would include what's going on there. So, I'll take the loss. I'll take the loss because the statistic output they're talking about makes sense. But saying that it wouldn't matter if he absorbed Cole's biomass, I think it doesn't work as an explanation.
Thanks for watching.
Look,
And hey,
I took an
are you a
L.
Deathbattle
It
member?
happens. I'm
We've got a
doing
ballot
really
going on
good this
right
year.
now where
I
members
don't know
get
what
to
my
choose a
record is right
matchup
now. I'll
for
have
the
to double
next
check
season.
that.
So
All right,
click
what we
the
got
join
next
button
week?
and jump into our Champions Discord.
Next time on Deathbattle, we got Frieza versus Frieza versus Megatron. Frieza's completely whooping Megatron's ass. Yeah, sorry if you disagree with that, folks. Then again, I thought that
This episode of Deathbattle.
I thought Cole was gonna win, or sorry, Alex was gonna win, but there you go. But no, I'm sorry. I fully believe Frieza is going to whip Megatron's ass. Frieza has reached universal levels of power. I don't believe Megatron has ever even gotten close to that level of power. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll double check to be sure. But anyway, I digress. So that was the fight. It was a pretty good fight. I'll admit, the CG didn't look amazing. It looked good for what it was. The choreography was, I think, the best part of it. But overall, that's my thoughts. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.